WINA.
So last night's State of the Union address by the president really gave people who love America something to hang their hats on. I mean, it was just remarkable the way this man expresses love for the country, his reverence for the Creator, and all of the things that make America great. Rick Manning joins us, President, Americans for Limited Government, a member of the Trump transition team, helped the president out with some advice coming into office and has kept his hat in as well. Rick, welcome, and boy, it was a good night last night.
Yeah, I really thought the president really laid out a vision for America. Obviously, he took a bow for really an unbelievably strong economy. I'll use a metric that he didn't mention, and that is we have fewer people unemployed in America today than at any time since the year 2000. What that means, we've had 21 million people enter the workforce since the year 2000. So every one of those 21 million people have gotten a job.
Wow.
In the workforce. So it is this is unbelievable because, and when I look at it, and I worked in the Labor Department, as you know, when I look at it, I see unemployment, the number of people who are unemployed, not just a rate, but the number of people who are unemployed as being really a health factor, because when people are unemployed, they're nervous, they are worried, they're in some cases desperate because they've got bills coming and they don't have a paycheck coming, and that's contagious. And when you have as few people, and it's still over 5 million people, by the way, but when you have as few people unemployed today as you have as in the year 2000, when it's a relative rarity, suddenly everybody doesn't know somebody who's unemployed. So nobody really feels like that contagion, that contagion of worry and fear and having to pull in their claws and not, invest in their future, but basically so they're nuts now because they may need them tomorrow. All that stuff doesn't happen, and as a result, the economy grows, and people thrive, and they feel more confident. And that's what this economy has done. With all those metrics, ultimately comes down to the American people finally feel that the future is brighter tomorrow than it was yesterday, and that is the greatest story of success for this president.
That's optimism, and it's something that, as you mentioned earlier, is contagious, Rick Manning, that people feel it when other people feel it, and it feeds upon itself in a good way. And yet, if you looked at the Democrats last night, with very few exceptions, the little ladies in their white jackets and the rest of them with the dour looks on their faces, when the president said, we need to do things that benefit America first, and you couldn't get them to get off their hands. I think they really showed themselves last night.
Oh, I agree. You just look at I'm not going to go into what Nancy Pelosi did. You just look at the last 30 seconds of the president's message. It was about America's greatness. It was about who we are, how we view ourselves. And the left has spent decades saying none of that's true. We are not exceptional. We have nothing to be proud about. And the president pointed to those things with pride, the Pilgrims landing in 1620 with pride. He pointed to touch points in our history with pride. And those are the exact touch points that the Democrats have been trying to tear down through our colleges. And and as a result, it was a direct assault on everything they believe to be true. And that's the battle that we're going to have in this election season, is that battle of who America is. And the Democrats aren't going to applaud for the America that we have grown up with, believing we are better and we have a higher calling.
We're talking with Rick Manning, the president of Americans for Limited Government, 977-1070, reviewing the State of the Union speech last night. Just outstanding, really, really, probably the best I've seen in many, many years, decades, in fact. So a couple things the president did last night, which I thought were remarkable and fully appropriate, Rick. It was compare and contrast with two entities. One was the Obama administration, and the other one was the state of California. I thought it was brilliant how he kept bringing it up and showing that their policies indeed were failed.
Yeah, see, we've got real life examples, and he pointed those real life examples out. Now, I'm a native Californian, so it hurts my heart that California. So, but you know what? It's true. California has fallen into disrepair as a direct result of failed policies and failure to uphold the law, among other things. And it is a fair comparison and contrast because it's real. I think it's happening here in America, and it's a direct attack on saying, if you want to be California, then vote for the other side. Mm-hmm. And I think that in some respects, rather than running a race that is a political race that is based upon attacking a person, I think the president is looking at attacking a concept, a failed concept. And you can look at Venezuela and you can say that, but that's a foreign country. California is a failed concept. It's the golden state. It has everything going for it, and they've messed it all up. And they've messed it up because they turned over their lives to government.
Yeah, it's a tragic.
Yes, it is tragic. And as somebody whose relatives are all moving out of California, I can attest that it's people people are leaving the state in droves because it's not a good place to be. Can I go to one aspect of this that I think is really part where the president I'm concerned about?
We've got 2 minutes. Go right ahead.
Sure. They talked a lot about prescription drug pricing and medical pricing. There's a bunch of different models you can use, and I'm concerned that the model the president likes on the prescription drug pricing is the wrong way to go, because it really is taking the European approach for trying to control prescription drug prices by just mandating price controls, and that is an extremely dangerous way to go. It will drive down prices, but it will also eliminate the biologics and the investment in the biologics that we need to if we're going to conquer Alzheimer's and we're going to continue the progress we're making against cancer. And so it's an extraordinarily dangerous place to go. I say that all the time, but the only reason I say it's because it's true. You have to have a profit motive in order for people to invest in medicines. And the minute you take the profit motive away, big investors, people pour a lot of money in, will no longer invest that money to find the cure for Alzheimer's. Instead, they'll invest it to try to find, the latest widget to make a machine go faster. And that's a real life thing that's happening. And the president, I hope, doesn't fall into the trap of looking at the price controls because of the budgetary implications for the U.S. and look at that as a solution because it'll have negative consequences to drug creation in the next 10 years.
Indeed. Rick, we've still got a little bit of time left. There was a couple of other areas I want to take issue with the president. One of them was this massive push for paid leave. I think that should be a market force, and if an employer wants to offer that as a benefit, that's great, but I don't like the mandated version of that.
It's a mistake. Plain and simple, it's a mistake. And it has a negative impact disproportionately on small companies, because when you're a small company, you have 10 people. If you have to pay somebody to be on leave for 12 weeks, let's say, that means you got 9 people who can do that work. You can't hire a replacement for that person because you can't afford it because you can only afford 10 people. And so in a lot of ways, these mandates that come out of, big businesses, because they've got people that they can kind of fill in. They've got extras. Small businesses can't. And so this is a real damaging thing to small business. And I think the president's just wrong. But he's consistently been wrong. He was wrong on it when he ran for election in 2016 too. So it's one of the things that I try to dissuade him on. He's wrong, but I deal with the 90-10 rule, and he gets about 90% right, and so I deal with the 10% that's wrong.
I'm with you 100%. Rick Manning, it was a great night last night. Very exciting. Could you tell us if people want to get more information about your work, where they can do that, and maybe a copy of your book as well?
Yeah, go to getliberty.org, getliberty.org to find about Americans for Limited Government. And I've got a book they wrote with Star Parker called Necessary Noise, How Donald Trump Gets the Culture, Inflames the Culture War, and Why That's Good for America. You go to rickmanning.com, it'll take you directly to the Amazon link, so you can check that out.
Congratulations on the book. I really enjoyed reading it. And Rick, always great to talk with you. Thanks for joining us on the Schilling Show.
Thanks, Rob. Appreciate it.
Yeah, indeed. Okay, something to celebrate for sure. Just a remarkable speech last night. I'm going to spend more time on this. I don't know if it's going to be today because we've got lots more coming up here. Rolene Marks joins us live from Israel